Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Tali Atika binti Shonizam. My nama matrik is 1234439. I want to explain about the introductions. Introduction definitions of silence in counselling. Silence can feel uncomfortable, heavy and unnatural in our culture, where it's often referred to as uncomfortable or awkward in social context. In the context of counselling, silence plays a specific and important role as definition above suggests, facilitating the client's movements and journey. While the use of silence in counselling may seem foreign and intimidating to someone new to counselling practice, experience in the practice of skill and placement generally demonstrates how powerful silence can be. Why silence is important in counselling? It is not just a technique but in counselling, silence is a very important professional skill. It helps client feel heard and respect without being forced to speak before they are ready. Silence also allows clients to reflect on the issue being discussed more deeply, become aware of emotions that may be difficult to express in words. Therapeutic silence. Therapeutic silence is an important part of effective communications. When patients suddenly become quiet, they may be experiencing such strong emotion that they are unable to talk. Patients should stop, remain quiet for a moment, the inquiry about what the patient is thinking and feelings. Until emotional needs are assessed and attend to, patient will be unable to hear further information. The difference between normal silence and silence in counselling. Normal silence often occurs unplanned and is usually caused by awkwardness in conversation, not knowing what to say, social conflict or tensions. This type of silence make people feel uncomfortable. Silence in counselling, used intentionally and professionally, aim to help the client, not avoid conversations. Accompanied by empathy and the presence of the counsellor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Aizfi binti Abdul Jalil. My matric number is 1231410. I will continue the presentation with the explanation about theoretical background of silence. The first one I want to explain is person-centered therapy or PCT by Carl Rogers. Carl Rogers, a leading figure in the humanistic psychology movement, believes that every individual has an innate potential for self-development and self-actualization. In PCT context, silence does not mean a lack of communication, but rather a psychological space that allows individuals to think, feel, and process their inner experiences without external interference. Among the reasons silence is used as a support tool are to give individuals the opportunity to understand their emotions and thought in depth. The second one is create a safe and non-judgmental atmosphere. This approach is in line with humanistic principles that see humans as active agents in the process of self-change. Next, I would like to explain about silence in active listening. Silence also plays a role in active listening as a form of empathy for the listener, basically the counselor. Carl Rogers emphasized that active listening is not only through words but through body language and the ability to be silent at the appropriate time. Silence also functions as a form of respect for the client's emotional experience, helping to encourage the client to deepen their expression and also helping the listener understand the implicit meaning behind the client's word. In conclusion, the use of silence is supported by the person-centered therapy approach by Carl Rogers through the principles of humanistic and active listening. Silence is not a weakness in communication, but an important element that contributes to the effectiveness of interaction and deep understanding between individuals. That's all from me. I will pass the presentation to the next person.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Siti Nurangkira binti Rosli. My metric number 1231397. So, in counseling, challenge is an international communication skill used by the counselor to create space for clients to reflect on their thought, experience, and feeling. Through silence, clients are given time to process deep emotion such as sadness, anger, or confusion without feeling pressure to speak immediately. Silence also encourage client autonomy as clients are allowed to take responsibility for the direction and pace of the session. Furthermore, appropriate use of silence communicates empathy, acceptance, and respect from the counselor, which helps client feel understood and valued. This in turn strengthens the therapeutic relationship and build trust and emotional safety. Silence can also prompt a client to continue talking and disclose more meaningful and sensitive information. In addition, it allows clients to organize and clarify their thought more effectively. At the same time, silence highlight important issues that have been raised, signaling their significance and encouraging deeper exploration during the counseling process. That's all from me. Thank you.
So, I will explain about type of silence. The silence has three types, which is the client silence, counselor silence, and productive versus unproductive silence. The first is client silence. Clients must have the skill to actively participate in their treatment, which is any skill. The client's ability to fully benefit from therapy takes practice and time to develop. If the client voices any of this concern, it is important to normalize the reaction so that the client can feel enough to proceed. Next, counselor silence is acknowledged that silence feels uncomfortable, especially before a therapeutic relationship is established. To use silence effectively, it is necessary to develop a deep of connection with the client and therefore to understand what happened during silence for the client. Last but not least, the last type is productive versus unproductive silence. The productive silence is period of silence in a counseling group occur for many reasons, but one of the most productive reasons are when members are taking the time to internally process either something that was said or done within their own word of the work of another group member. Next, the unproductive silence can rear itself as many faces taking on different unspoken form, which can present itself as the unspoken agreement among members to go against the leader refusing to indirection. A leader might indicate for reason of fear, unwillingness to participate in a group in a structured manner different from what was expected or due to authority figure resistance.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Aina Najia binti Muhammad Sofian. My metric number is 1231452. And now, I will continue by presenting my part, which is the benefit of silence. Silence play an important role in the counseling process. Firstly, silence encourages clients to reflect on their thoughts and feelings. When the counselor remains silent, clients are given space to think and understand what they are experiencing. Next, silence also allows client and giving the time to the client to process their emotions. Some emotions are difficult to express immediately, and silence gives the client the opportunity to organize their feeling without the pressure. Not just that, silence also promotes client autonomy. Instead of relying on the counselor's questions, client can take ownership of the conversation and explore the issue at their own pace. In addition, silence also demonstrates active listening and empathy. It shows that the counselor is fully present, attentive, and respectful of the client's experience. Silence is also important because it allows emotional expressions. Client may need moments of silence to cry, to feel, or to calm themselves,
especially during the emotional intense sessions. Furthermore, silence also enhances the depth of discussion. By not rushing to fill the silence, counselor can give a client the chance to gain deeper insight and awareness. And the last but not least, silence also strengthens the therapeutic relationship. Because it helps build a trust as a client feel accepted and understood without judgment. In conclusion, silence is not an absence of communication, but silence is a powerful counseling skill that support reflection, emotional processing, and personal growth. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurifah Amani binti Arif and my metric number is 1231393. Hi everyone. For my part, I will explain about the risks and measures of silence in counseling. Silence is usually helpful, but if it is not used properly, it can actually cause problem for the client. The first one is the client might feel ignored. If silence is too long or not intentional, the client may think the counselor is not paying attention or does not care about what they are sharing. This can reduce trust and make the client feel uncomfortable. The second is cultural differences can cause misunderstanding. In some cultures, being silent might feel rude, awkward, or disrespectful. Client may not understand the purpose of silence, and this can make them feel uneasy. That's why counselors need to be aware of the client background and reaction so that silence become helpful rather than confusing. Finally, using silence for too long without guidance can make the client anxious instead of calm. Silence should be balanced with verbal support, showing that the counselor is present, listening, and understanding the client's feeling. In conclusion, silence is a powerful tool in counseling, but it must be used carefully. If measured, it can make client feel ignored, confused, or anxious. Counselors should always pay attention to how clients respond and adjust their use of silence to ensure it supports emotional well-being.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Syamia Masara binti Omar and my metric number is 1231431. Now I would like to explain the application and example of the role of silence in counseling. In counseling, silence is not a bad thing. Silence is a helpful skill. For example, a university student comes to counseling because she or he feels stressed and tired. During the session, she talks slowly and sometimes stops talking. The counselor does not rush the client. The counselor stays calm and use silence. Because of the silence, the client feels safe and respected. She starts to talk again and shares deeper feelings such as feeling lonely and afraid. This shows that silence helps clients think and talk at their own pace. It also helps build trust between the counselor and the client. That is the application and example of the role of silence.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fitra Nurdiman binti Muhammad Radin. Metric number 1231469. For the conclusion and recommendation, in conclusion, silence plays a significant role in the counseling process. Silence is not a sign of inaction or lack of skills, but a meaningful communication tool that helps clients feel heard and respected. When used at the right time, silence allows clients to organize their talk, reflect on their emotion, and gain deeper insights into their own experiences. It is especially useful after open-ended question during emotional moments or when client needs space to process difficult issues. For counselor, trainees, learning to use silence intentionally is very important. Trainees should pay attention to clients' body language and emotional responses to decide whether to maintain or gently break the silence. With practice and supervision, silence can be combined with empathy and active listening to enhance the counseling session. Overall, effective use of silence helps build trust, encourage self-expression, and strengthen the therapeutic relationship between counselor and client. Just that from us. Thank you.